What's up, guys? I wanted to do a channel update since I've been away for about a week. Also, we recently crossed 1,000 subs, so I wanted to say thank you guys for all the support. That's been really awesome. So while I've been away, I spent some time rewriting my blog since it really needed a facelift. If you kind of have gone through my blog, then you probably noticed that. By the way, this blog is completely open source, so if you want to fork it or check out some of the code, you can just head over to my GitHub and grab it all from there. So next to my Neovim config, you can see there is this blog repo. So people have asked me in the past, like, how do I take notes? How do I get this stuff to kind of look like it does up on my blog? Like, am I writing all of this in HTML, or like, why does it look like Markdown and all that kind of stuff, right? So the reason it looks like Markdown is because it really is just Markdown, right? So you can take this entire blog, right, push it up to your own repo. All you'd have to do is, change some of the styling, of course, and some of the links to link to wherever you want it to link to. And all you would have to do to publish content to this blog would be you would open up the content folder here, create a directory for whatever topic you want to talk about. And even the directory is not totally necessary. You could just put everything in here, but I just think it's a little cleaner like this. And for instance, like we'll go into this one, and then it really is just Markdown files. So if you know anything about Markdown, it's pretty standard for writing documentation, all that kind of stuff. Like every single README on GitHub is written in Markdown. So all you'll do is you'll write a Markdown file like this, and then how it gets data about it is this thing called front matter, and it's kind of a standard with all static site generators anymore to have something called front matter. So what you'll do, and we'll go to the raw, so this is the raw Markdown file. This is just the text that you actually write, right? Like 2 hashtags is a title and all that kind of stuff. 3 is a smaller title and whatever. But this is the Markdown, or this is the front matter right here. So where is this title going? So if you go over here and we go to like topics, we go to Arch Linux, this is the title, right? So let's go look at this one again. So installing Arch Linux UEFI 2020, there it is, right? As well as things like the author, so you can see like Chris right there, the date. This is like a quick excerpt from it. And this is all being done by GraphQL, which is like, if you haven't heard of GraphQL, GraphQL is essentially going to be what REST is to SOAP. GraphQL will be to REST. So if you've never heard of SOAP, REST is kind of like the standard that replaced it on the web. And GraphQL is going to do that same thing, or it really should, to REST. So what you can do with GraphQL is you can actually, using Gatsby, you can query Markdown files, and you can query the front matter in the Markdown file. So that's how I'm setting all this stuff up here. Besides that, I also wanted to talk about a few other things, mainly the Discord server. So I have a link to my Discord server on the blog right here. So you just have to click on something like that, and you can head over there. So we've been seeing a lot of growth on the Discord server, and pretty soon we plan on starting some community projects, from everything to like a cool Linux, like Bootstrap, like a window manager Bootstrap. If you've ever seen something like Larbs, we were planning on doing some community effort around our own kind of version of that. We were also planning on doing other, like, there's people who do like data science in here, there's people who do front-end web dev, there's students in here, there's all kinds of developers from, all different levels of experience. So I'm glad we've seen a lot of growth there. And I recommend you join even if you're not interested in creating a project or contributing to one of the projects, because this is just a great community to get support on like Neovim or Linux. People have been talking a lot about web dev stuff, and I've even learned a lot just from the people who have joined my blog or my Discord server, which is awesome. So basically this is the repo that I'm starting here, and it's kind of fresh, or not the repo, but the organization here. So what I plan to do here is just have a bunch of project ideas that people come up with in the community. So what you should do is, if you have a cool project idea, just head over to Discord, pitch your idea. And, if it's a cool idea, we'll just, and even if, it doesn't matter, we can just add a repo over here and then just, see if you can convince other people to help you work on it and contribute to it. So that's been one other idea I had, since a lot of people want to do projects, but it's always better to do projects with other people, I think. Kind of like hold you accountable. And I think, people are probably getting tired of like writing tic-tac-toe and calculator apps and all that kind of stuff. What I'd like to do is just kind of write, software that needs to be a little bit like bigger or bigger in scope, like software that's a little greater in scope. Typically needs more developers to work on, right? So I just figured that would be a good idea for the community. Besides that, that's pretty much it for this video. You can check out the blog. I'll leave a link in the description. You can check out the Discord. I'll leave a link in the description. So also, a lot of people have been asking me whether or not I'm going to keep doing the Neovim content. I am going to keep doing the Neovim content. People have been asking me for snippets videos. People have been asking me about the Vim wiki and all that kind of stuff. And you can expect those videos to be coming pretty soon. Definitely the snippets video, since I want to implement that in the config itself. Also, I have been continuing to work on the config, so you can check that out here over on my GitHub. But yeah, this is the config as it stands right now. It's in a pretty stable place, and I have a installation script over on the GitHub, so you can get to there from here. Click on Neovim or Nvim. All right, and basically this should work to install it right now. This script is still a little bit in beta. I mean, of course you can always just install it by grabbing all of this stuff from the Git repo and just putting it in the Nvim folder, right? But this may just work to install it. I did test it on Ubuntu and it seemed to work, and I also tested it on Arch and it also seemed to work. The only prerequisite is that you'll need to have pip3 installed first. So just make sure you have that installed first before you run the script. We're also working on like a Docker file too. I've been talking to a few people about doing stuff like that. And feel free to make a pull request or open an issue. If you see an issue or something's broken, you can open an issue or talk about it on the Discord server. Or open up a pull request if you think you can solve it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. So stay tuned for more videos in the future. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.